the playoffs and all the other like little events that Purge have been doing, we've seen a big focus on the Hecarim ban as well. Ban in the jungle. I think he's still pretty much a predominant jungle pick as well, but it doesn't look like he's going to be that. It's going to be the pick up there as the final ban on the side of 4 junglers, 1 Schmite, is it?
Well, it's a German. It's a French name, but I don't actually know what it means. It's like 4. I don't even know. Like Spirit from Purge, like she just said what it was, and I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce it. I'm just gonna say 4J1V, and that is just like the simplest way for me to put it. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce what the actual name of it means. You know what? I'm gonna put in Twitch chat, and maybe someone will help me out. Maybe there's some French chatters in chat that will actually help me out in general. But yeah, 3 support bans and also 3 jungle bans on either side. And as you mentioned, that Hecarim being a priority pick for the French squad on the blue side. Interesting that Hecarim is still a high priority. I mean, I think there's no surprise. There's definitely champions that are rising quite a lot in priority. I was actually able to watch the Chinese league as well, which recently got back up and running again over the last few days. Lilia has been very powerful. Also Viego as well, which I believe should be available. I don't think it will be I don't think it's banned for this event, even though it's the most recently released champion. But Viego, again, another really high priority pick and has been performing really well at the moment. But we are going to get Fiora and Gragas, and then Yone and potentially Diana in the mid lane here. Or we're going to swap over to Kai'Sa last second.
Oh, they're trying to keep you on your toes there, Stu. So the Kai'Sa just come through there. Again, generally a mid lane pick from what I've been watching with the throughout the Purge tournaments. And again, Gragas and Fiora has always been a big priority picks for as long as I can remember within the Wild Rift scene, to be honest. So, but yeah, no, seeing the Hecarim was definitely going to be a called for one. I knew that was going to rear its ugly head somehow, and it has. And there we go. The Akali pick comes through in what could potentially be the mid lane as well to go against this Kai'Sa, but again, we won't know where that Kai'Sa is going to fall until that team comp on the blue side is going to be falled out.
Second round of bans here, just seeing what teams are going to be banning out. No support pick at the moment for Heste on the blue side for 4J1V. That's going to be one hell of a name to say throughout the series. No support. I know other supports banned though. You know what would have been crazy if like they just banned out 5 supports towards Heste. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he is the playmaker that we all know and love, but a few junglers being banned out. Jace is also being banned out as well. So they don't think that they have their jungler, even though they have the Gragas, Akali, and Fiora. They maybe think this Gragas might be going down in the support role, and that TeamRequiem has not actually picked up the jungler yet.
Yep, riding all onto that last 2 picks for your jungle is going to be troublesome because, again, I mean, quite a few of the Titans there have been taken out, the likes of the Evelynn, Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, Vi. It seems like a bit of a mirrored story here. On the side of the German side, they've banned a lot of the supports, obviously, due to Hestes. And then, obviously, onto the side of, I believe, is it four old, 1 young, I think it was Spirit put in the chat.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it means, anyway. So I wouldn't put it down to that. Obviously, other than the old person being in the middle and everybody else being ninjas, that would
all old one. What category do we come in, Blam? Are we the old ones or are we the young ones?
We're boomers. We're boomers.
Oh, we're boomers. Ah, damn. Yeah. Feels bad. I mean, I can still be classed as young, right? Just mentally young. Just, I mean, looking wise, maybe I look a little bit older, but you know, the mental wise is still there. You know, maybe.
I think the use of yoink makes you about 5 years younger. So
they are gone. They are completely out of here. Galio going to be the pickup here. Probably going to be down in the support role as well. Or it could be, I mean, Yuumi always gets hovered, I think, by Heste. He always just triggers us with this Heste. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to hover Yuumi every single time. It's not actually going to be picked up. But it's going to potentially be Yasuo, maybe the brothers of Yone and Yasuo being picked up here. So that would mean that Kai'Sa does go down in the ADC role, and maybe Yasuo goes mid and Yone goes in top lane. I know Yone has been definitely up in priority as well, since the the new ruin items and the light items coming in, the Blade Ruin King ruin item, also the Infinity Edge ruin item really increases Yone's damage and also his survivability as well, with going items like Bloodthirster. But it's going to be Camille, so a lot of lockdown potential here. I mean, a classic Camille Galio combo here, just to make sure that you can lock them down. And in the bot lane on the German side, it's going to be Lucian Brom, again another classic down in the bot lane.
Yes, got plenty of knock up there with the Braum and the Lucian combo there. Again, we normally see it's either Lucian and Nami or the Braum coming through. I think they need that, especially if they were going to leave it all to Gragas. Being tank Gragas in the jungle would have been a bit of a risky move, especially with the likes of Camille being on the enemy team, Galio with a global ult, massive CC as well, and then obviously Hecarim being able to just go 0 to 90 in the matter of seconds. He's pretty much not in your face, and then all of a sudden he's there, literally all up in your face. But yeah, having the Camille, no, the Fiora, sorry, going against Yone up in the Baron lane, and then Camille going against the Akali in the mid lane is very interesting. But again, Gragas is a pretty stable pick for the jungle there. We didn't know it was going to be the Gragas to begin with. Sometimes we see Gragas go support or even mid. He's a flexible guy.
He's a big flexible guy. I wonder if the skin's been picked up yet. For the Gragas, the new Chroma Crash skin. We'll have to wait and find out to see if the skin's going to come online. But yeah, we're going to have to just wait for that usual 3-minute delay that we need to do, because Wild Rift unfortunately still doesn't have the I guess the sense in a way of just making sure that the games get delayed before we get into it. We need to have that competitive integrity to make sure that the players not trying to stream snipe or anything, because even though this tournament in general is bragging rights, winning this tournament is still going to be important for these players, because the main thing is that if they win, then they go all the way through to that finals next week as well, which they can win in that 5,000 prize pool. So we got a screenshot of the draft here on stream. Anything that catches your eye with this at all, Blam? Anything that you're maybe surprised about, or something that you kind of expected coming into this?
I mean, there's a lot of expectation because there's not really much surprise because, again, they're all very much general picks. No one's gone for a crazy Viego pick. There's no sort of like show boasting other than the likes of the Fiora, because throughout the Purge tournaments, we didn't really see Fiora come through in the Baron lane. It used to be one point in EMEA where it was like, if you don't get Camille and if you don't get Fiora, then you've got to try and think of something else up into the Baron lane. But this time around, we see Fiora come through, so it's a lot of very expected picks compared to being thrown off with anything there. Again, it seems very, very meta from what we used to be seeing with Rift Legends. So I don't think there's really much I can really comment on there other than it's very to be expected. But then again, with prize pools on the line, you're going to go with what you know and what works. So,
of course. I mean, this is probably one of I think the biggest battles. I mean, even if you talk about any gaming in general, even any sports in general, France against Germany is always a great encounter, even if you're just talking about gaming or just sports or any sort of anything at all, really. It's always France against Germany. They're always two of the best countries. Whatever they do, they're just above and beyond everyone else. You think of football, you think of anything else, it's always France against Germany, but they're facing each other in the first round this time, so it's not a double elimination bracket as well. So this is a best of 3. If you do lose the best of 3, then you will be going out of the tournament, unfortunately. So a big one to start things off. But yeah, like you said, I think kind of surprised to not see the likes of any of the new picks, especially in the jungle, the likes of Viego, the new champion being coming out a few weeks ago now, not being picked up, especially after the biggest buff, I would think, in Wild Rift history, with like how insane he got buffed. Lily as well, the buff has definitely been doing her well good if you want that bit of AP scaling in the jungle. But yeah, like you said, kind of classic EMEA picks, which is I guess to be expected, because you want to play comfort, you want to play to your strengths.
You definitely want to play to your strengths, especially when there's money on the line, you know what I mean? All these players are definitely, they've worked for it, they've put the hours in, and they've given us a show regardless. So for them to walk away with nothing, sorry, it's going to be a bit of an upset for the players. So yeah, as you say, you can kind of see why they're going for these comfort picks. But it would have been really nice to see the Viego come through, maybe a little bit playmaking, how he picks up some of the souls of the other champions and stuff like that. It would have been really cool to see that. But again, I've been playing Viego offline, and prior to this buff, he was just horrendously bad. Like, there was just nothing to this champion at all. I was just sort of like, I'm going to stick with him. Maybe it's a me issue, but I kept playing, seeing on Twitter that people were just sort of like, nah, this champion's just not it. But yeah, and less about talking smack about Viego, we are actually into some of the gameplay now.
Yeah, straight into the game we are going here. You can see the two junglers. It's going to be Gragas and Hecarim on either side. And we've got everything else as well, which is great. Let's start things off here and see what's going to happen in this game. It's actually going to be Camille in mid and Yone in the Baron lane. So Camille having a little bit of power there in that mid lane, and Yone going up against Fiora. So a bit of an interesting one. I thought it would have been the other way around. Potentially maybe the Hecarim going towards... the Yone going towards the mid lane and the Camille going up to the Baron lane. But so far, nothing too crazy.
Nothing crazy indeed. It is that Wild Rift laning phase where pretty much it's tit for tat for quite some time, unless we get some advanced roaming here from Hecarim. But I don't think we'll start getting that until he gets to level 5 regardless, because having that ultimate, having that fear onto when you get ganking in the lane is going to be a lot more opportunistic than going in without that ultimate and having no fear and just hoping that you can just rush in and be like, yeah, I'll try and steal some health here whilst I'm hitting away. But yeah, again, just tit for tat, freezing the lanes, getting as minion waves, getting as much gold as possible, getting the fastest route to level 5, I think is going to be the means to a early game victory for either of these teams.
Yeah, Hecarim definitely the faster of the two in terms of a jungle clear. You can see the Gragas at the moment only cleared the bottom side of his jungle, whereas Hecarim has cleared the whole bottom side and also cleared most of his top side as well, and also is getting towards a Scuttle Crab. So you're talking about, you know, these players trying to push levels and trying to potentially get to level 5 as quick as possible. Hecarim is definitely going to be the first person towards that. So that is going to mean that Hecarim maybe has that little bit of an advantage early on, but I think with Hecarim being such a strong jungler, he has so much sustain, so much tankiness as well at the same time. With things like First Strike being nerfed and these assassin junglers kind of going out of the meta, junglers like Hecarim with this sort of sustained damage and survivability are definitely rising up at the moment to be some of the best in the meta.
Absolutely. I mean, when you've got the likes of Camille and Hecarim on the same team, you've not only got somebody who can run at you at like 120 miles per hour, you've also got Camille who can fly over those walls as well. So if you manage to miss the jockey that is Hecarim, you are definitely going to get hit with the lady with the long-legged blades on the potential CC as well. But Gragas is actually invading up into the Baron lane there, which was well countered there by Yone because he managed to get out of there alive. It wasn't a death going over to the side of Requiem. So again, little minor victories on the side of the 4JV as well. So fair play to Yone from dodging out that disaster.
Yeah, just playing safe, knowing that he's on kind of the weak side at the moment because this Hecarim is down the bot lane. Yeah, really well played by the Yone to kind of understand the situation that he is in. Just going back for now, but Gragas didn't really do too much, you know, just kind of roamed up to the Baron lane, didn't really get anything going for the Fiora, just only got one tower plating in the end, and that's pretty much it. But for now, it looks like they're just trying to defend off the invade just in case any more come in, and then we're just going back to farming. So pretty slow start here, to be honest with you. Nothing too crazy has happened in terms of fighting or anything else. No real crazy exchanges or ganks, just a lot of farming and a lot of scaling for these two squads that definitely need a lot of scaling. You know, you need the Kai'Sa first item, you need the Hecarim Trinity Force, you need the Yone first item. So a lot of these teams, both these teams definitely want to scale and wait until they get their first Iron Power spikes.
Yeah, we'll probably start seeing that around about, I suppose, this part of the game, because they're just sort of farming up now. And then obviously Rift Herald and the Drake will be up within the next minute or so as well. So again, trying to get that first item, trying to get your first max ability as well. Going into the Herald and the Drake fights is obviously always going to be a great thing for you and your team. But again, we're seeing the Lucian give a bit of a pelt into Kaiser down in the bot lane there. It seems like Requiem's got a little bit more of a priority in these lanes, both in the farm lane and in the Baron lane as well.
A bit of an advantage for both of these lanes at the moment. Just a little bit of gold. You can see most of the players going back to base for now, trying to set up to round towards these objectives. Hecarim's already here, has that Trinity Force completed already. As I mentioned, a really big spike there for the Hecarim means that you have a lot of power, but he doesn't really have the team to back up and support him right now. He's all alone at the Rift Herald, and the rest of the team is not really around for now. They are waiting for a bit of time, but you can see in the meanwhile, the bot lane is just going to have a little bit of an exchange. Nothing too crazy. I don't think no really battle is going to happen in the bot side. That battle is really at the Rift Herald at the moment to see what teams can secure it. But at the moment, no one's taking any objectives. Both teams are playing this really patiently.
Yeah, it's a very coy match to begin with, it seems, but the coy might just be over. Hestes, almost getting caught out there by Gragas. That could have been fatal for 4JV there. Oh, as I was just calling this whole thing coy.
Bit of an interesting one. You can see the Brom is doing so much to zone away this team at the moment. Heste's come back in with a little bit of health as well, with the Yone being dashed over the wall, but a fight's really happening in the bot side at the moment as the directed cam, I guess, has gone to the other side, but a first blood there for Kai'Sa, and another nearly kill there onto Ferox. The flash over the wall from the Yone actually gets the kill in the end as well, and is able to jump straight onto Lucian in the mid lane, and that is 2-3 quick kills for the France team, and that first mid lane tower. That's the advantage that they wanted to see.
I see London, I see France, I see Requiem down by 3 kills there. But that was beautifully executed after we was like kind of just plodding along within those first like 0 to 5 minutes. We was like kind of like, well, yo, when's the first like interaction gonna happen? And then all of a sudden it was sort of like Heste's almost being cut out in the mid lane, and then Hecarim was trying to like muster up the fight for the Rift Herald, and he was a little bit alone, but then Yone comes through. We saw that Camille came through as well, and it kind of ended up completely going up into the favor of 4JV as well. So I didn't see that happening, but they managed to turn that around beautifully.
Yeah, incredible play there. Just making sure that they can zone away, and they pick the pot fights up extremely well there. They're actually going to catch out the Lucian as well. Donawful is in a really difficult spot on the single target damage from the Kai'Sa and gets the kill onto Lucian. Another advantage here for 4JV, and they might get another kill as well. Heste, the playmaking god again, making it work.
Yeah, Kaiser going for the first item Terminus. I don't know if that's the new thing, Stu. I think you should try and fill me in on that one, being the ADC main. But I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's a little bit of a change up with the first item we see on Kaiser normally.
Yeah, it's a new thing now with the Kai'Sa that you kind of go for this, I guess, on-hit build. Terminus, one of the new items in the game, just has... You have so much value for money, and oh, look at this. They're jumping straight onto the Akali as well. Oh, actually, the Camille ultimate actually missed-targeted there. Actually targeted the Brom instead of the Akali, so couldn't lock down the Akali, and Akali was able to dash it away. But yeah, as I mentioned, the build now for Kai'Sa is kind of going for this more on-hit AD build. Oh my god, the flash away from the Kai'Sa. The moves absolutely destroys Ferox there. Ferox just lost an ankle or two. And Azim, incredible movement there with the Kai'Sa, doing an incredible job there to get another kill.
Yeah, it seems like Azim was just waiting for Ferox just to make that misstep, and he was very well calculated the whole thing, because sometimes you can be waiting and trying to ambush somebody like the Gragas, like Ferox there, and it doesn't quite fall through, but that was just beautifully played. The flash into the Kai'Sa was kind of just like the okay, you know, it's going to be over. But going on and looking at the bot lane here, we could see Lucian getting caught out here. There is the CC from the Galio, and then we see a nice rotation from Ezim there from the mid lane coming down just to clean up another kill, put in 4 kills. Just not this Kai'Sa alone. He's doing a no-def run, and I'm here for it. I support you.
100% kill participation at the moment. 4 kills, 3 assists with the 7 kills at the moment for this French squad in such a big game for these two sides. Nash's Tooth completers as well, really going for this full attack speed build, making full benefit there to try and stack your plasma stacks, get towards maximum stacks as soon as possible to deal that little bit of extra bonus damage. And as you mentioned, you know, this Kai'Sa getting 4 kills this early on is a scary thing for TeamRequiem to deal with, because Kai'Sa is not an easy champion to lock down. You have the mobility, you have the invisibility as well at the same time. And, you know, I called it at the start, but it looks like it's going to be another Heste show. This man has been around the map like an absolute madman. He is making plays left, right, and center. It's beautiful to watch.
I mean, what perfect hero would you put him on? Which perfect champion, sorry, would you put him on there other than the Galio? Because being able to get around the map, global ultimate, I mean, that's pretty much a sure way to ensure that you can get around the map. We see that Yone manages to take down the top lane turret there. So first tier turret goes down in the Baron lane. Again, I thought 4GV was going to have a bit of a struggle there with the lane priority, but it seems like they're coming back there, because I saw that Fiora is managing to take the first turret in the Baron lane, but it's all going to seem to be a bit of a brewing moment here. There's a lot of people around this red buff. I'm not too sure that it's...
Oh, Lucian.
Die for it. Lucian almost getting caught out there by the Hecarim. There seems to be a bit of hesitation from blue side, even though the 6 kills ahead, they're kind of just like, just poking the bear before they even approach with the Hextech ultimatum onto the Gragas there, as well as Galio coming in with that haul, but Gragas has managed to escape the Hextech ultimatum, fortunately for himself, but Yone picking up the Braum also, so that it's currently a 2-1 trade. Okay, Akali popping off here, status from the Hecarim. Can we potentially get a takedown on Hecarim there? But it doesn't look like it. We are still seeing Camille still very prevalent in that fight, and takes down the Akali as well.
Kai'Sa completely untouched in that entire fight. Yes, the TeamRequiem got a few kills there on the French squad, but Kai'Sa, Azim is performing out of his mind right now around these fights, just being able to dodge away from the likes of Akali and also Fiora at the same time as well. And this Kai'Sa is just going to get stronger and stronger. Back to base, going towards that Riftmaker now as well to get an incredible amount of AP damage after he gets his second ability upgraded as well. But what a game this is to start things off in this tournament. I think the invades are going incredibly well. They're just playing patiently, I feel like, for JV1 at the moment, just making sure that they're paying patient, they're not doing anything too aggressive. And look, this is perfect. And the Camille survives as well. 3 players go down to the bot lane to try and shut down the Camille. And Camille's like, yeah, I'm Camille. I can just hook shot away. That's totally fine. At the same time, the Baron goes down, and now the battle is happening around the Baron. The Culling comes out, but it's tickling the Camille. It's doing no damage at all, and they're just going to try and clean up this fight as the Fiora is just all by herself in the bot lane. And Azim, he doesn't care. He's going in. He's against an assassin. The assassin can't do anything. The Kai'Sa is the assassin this game, that's for sure. And there's another fight happening in the bot lane as well, with Fiora trying to survive the 2 versus 1. But I don't think you're surviving this time, buddy. An incredible fight again for France. The Dragon to secure, the Baron as well. And it's full steam ahead here for this France squads.
Yep, they are definitely putting me to shame here. I did say... actually, no, I'm still sticking with this. I'm partly correct in this. I did say Germany or France, so... I'm not taking this as an L for myself personally, because they're both playing pretty well. Playing pretty well here.
Well, he's not out yet.
No, exactly. Yeah, she's not out. I've just dropped a big nuke there in terms of the leak that nobody knew about. But yeah, France is definitely all over this game 1. But I feel like Requiem, if they had a little bit of a better early game, I don't think they'd be in this predicament like they are right now. They've just lost all second tier turrets as well. They're pretty much at the inhibis with the Baron Nasher minions. The Hextech ultimatum coming through onto the Braum was a bit of a okay mistake, but closest subject to be going into that Hextech ultimatum. But Akali is in there. What is Akali doing? Can she get back in onto the Camille? But just not enough damage being done to Camille. She is sustaining so much damage, unlike the Gragas in that little 3v1. Unfortunately there for Ferox, again overstepping a little too far. And speaking of overstepping, Fiora goes down as well.
This Kai'Sa is just out of control right now. There's just nothing that can be done about this Kai'Sa. Ikali tries to escape. Is going to escape this time. SD tries to dash in, but nothing is going to happen there as well. Ikali goes back to the base. Is completely safe and sound. And it's just all France right now. They are just doing incredibly well in this game to make sure that they can try and finish this off. And near enough 8,000 gold lead at the moment, and the momentum just swung as soon as the Rift Herald went down. And it's such a big thing in this game. It's like kind of you saw in this game, the first 4 or 5 minutes were just players farming up, trying to reach that first item. And as soon as that Rift Herald fight happened, you just know whoever's going to win that Rift Herald fight is going to get the momentum. And that's exactly what the France team was able to do. Get the first Rift Herald, get the first Tower Gold, get the first few kills as well, which is just incredible for them.
Yeah, it's pretty much the defining factors of setting up that early game is getting the gold, getting the experience, and like you said, getting that first item activated when you go in for that Rift Herald fight. And like you rightfully said, Stu, it's just all been downhill for the German team since that Rift Herald fight. But can they get back up now with this little interaction? I don't think so. We see Lyrics go down again from the Camille, but Camille falls short to the Lucian as well. But Kai'Sa just doing beautiful amounts of damage currently. It's 4-1 trade once again for the French team. They have just between Braum and the victory there, but Braum is not going to be enough to stand between the French team and this game 1 victory as the takedown inhibitor in the mid lane. They've got the minion wave there as well. The Nexus is going down. It is pretty much a secured game 1 for Team France.
What an incredible game here for France. 18 kills out of 22, or 18 kill participation out of 22 here for that Kai'Sa in the duo lane. We can check out the stats as well. Look at that, 909, 18 kill participation out of 20, 30,000 damage in the end as well. An incredible performance by Ezim, and you have to say that it was all down to Heste as well. You know, the big thing is that he is the one that's been roaming around the map, making these crazy, insane plays. And he's the one that's been setting up this team for victory. And you could see here, the first 5 minutes were just stable. Nothing happened. And then suddenly, boom, the gold lead just shot up for France.
Yeah, I think the Hecarim is probably going to be a prio ban going into game 2 there. If it isn't, then clearly Germany needs to learn a very hard taught lesson from France, unfortunately. But yeah, like you said, Kai'Sa, again, you can't sort of count out that effort of Kai'Sa. Brilliant kill participation, fantastic damage, 30k damage, but the Hecarim has to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think there's going to be a few switch-ups here. I think you ban 3 champions away from Heste. He has a 4th champion up his sleeve. You cannot ban that man out. But we're going to be taking a short break anyway for a few minutes whilst these teams get prepared and ready for game number 2. We'll be back in just a few minutes.